Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Eugene Honrath from Shadow Warriors with Meet the Maker. I've got Frank Delalla here from Justifier Knives. How's it going, man?
Going great, man. Really good. Good to talk to you today.
Yeah. So give me a quick synopsis of who you are, your company, your location, how you came to your company name, and the products that you create.
Okay. Well, you're like just so people understand, you're like the Oprah of the knife world.
Yeah.
So if I start like crying when I tell my story, I need people to understand that it's not a normal. You have like that power.
That'll be good for
So,
TV.
dude, I like that. I hope that sticks. I just called you the Oprah of the knife world.
I'll take it.
How awesome would it be if we got people saying that? I have no idea what that means, but it'd be awesome if people just started saying it. So, yeah, as you said, Justifier Knives, Frank Delalla. You can find me at justifierknives.com. Of course, on Shadow Warriors, thanks to you. Excellent. I gotta get one of those. So sorry for all of my beeps going off here.
No,
I'm not
that's okay.
really sure. Yeah, my website's justifierknives.com. On Instagram is Justifier Knives. Twitter, I don't use Twitter too much for knives, but I'm Frank Delalla, one word on Twitter if you want to find me. And yeah, we're on Facebook, easy to find, Justifier Knives. There's also one of our Shadow Warriors who won a blade a while back, started a fan group, which is really cool. Because, before, and I'll have to tell my story, before I was a knife maker, before I was a pastor, before I was a knife maker, I wanted to be a rock star.
Yeah?
And obviously bald, chubby, it wasn't ever going to work out, but that's what I wanted. So having a fan page, I mean, that's as close as I'll ever get, man. That's,
And who started the fan page?
It was Brad Carter, really, really nice guy. He has like a prototype. I have my carry knives. He has kind of like an early version of this, which is also a prototype.
Nice.
I haven't settled on the design. I think this is going to be the new Rockland carry knife. But he has like an early version of this in CPM 154. That is cool. He really likes it. So and he's just been awesome posting pictures and stuff. So man, it's just awesome when people support you. Like it means so much, and people have been so awesome, especially through Shadow Warriors. So very cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's our pleasure. What do you create? So you just knives, or tell us about a little bit about what you create and the sizes of knives that you do create.
Okay, cool. I got into this. I think my little story's on my page. I got into this because I wanted a really great bushcraft knife and couldn't afford it. So $1,000 later, I made one. And I made equipment and trial and error and stuff like that. It's funny. I was trying to save a little money instead of buying like a BK7 or something like that. So I know people don't think of that as a bushcraft knife, but I wanted sort of a survival kind of knife like that. And I was just checking stuff out and was working on a project and decided I'm going to make a knife. And I remember it was weird. I don't know. You didn't ask me this, but do you want my sort of story?
Give it to us. Yeah.
All right. I was going through kind of a rough time in my life. It was just a couple of years ago, if that. And I was never, I was very focused in my career. I was a pastor for 13 years, maybe a little longer than that, 14 years. I founded a church here in Rockland County, New York. And I was going through a stressful time a couple of years ago, and I never, it was one of those sort of all-encompassing careers, calling career, I don't know what to call it, but never had much time to do too much else between family and the ministry. And I was going through this really, really rough time, and I was kind of losing my mind a little bit. And I decided I think I was going to rehandle an axe or something like that. I'd been watching all these bushcraft videos, and I found this, like my brother-in-law's axe in my backyard. We have a 2-family house. And I found his axe, and I was like, dude, can I put a new handle on this? This thing is disgusting. He was like, yeah, man, go ahead. It's still in the shop, sitting in the corner somewhere. And I started like buying equipment to do this axe, and I've never been like a handy guy or anything. At least it never really used those skills. My dad and my brother are, they've always been contractors and stuff like that.
Right.
And but I've always been a creative person, a musician and songwriter and stuff like that. So one thing led to another. Instead of fixing this axe, I decided I was going to make a knife. I was going to make a bushcraft knife because I was getting into all of this stuff. And I'd watched Aaron Goff's videos on making a knife by hand, and that made me think, hey man, he had like links what you could buy and stuff, and he would tell you how to heat treat it with a torch. And I was like, I think I can make an awesome knife. This is really cool. So he inspired me to think that little old me could try to make a knife. And dude, it was weird. I had the only way I can describe it is I had like a religious experience.
Yeah.
And I don't say that lightly. I finished the initial profile. And all by hand. I didn't even own power tools, man. I'm probably telling people too much, making them nervous to buy something from me. I'm sitting there and profiling this knife, and no experience with anything like this in the past. And I finished the profile and held it up. And I'll just say it. It's weird. It's okay. I've said so many weird things in public during the course of my ministry. This will just be another one. I held it up in my hand, the profile, and it was like electricity went through me. And I looked at it, and something told me, "You're gonna do this. This is like a thing now."
Yeah.
I it's such a weird story, but it was like. It was like, I think it was like God speaking to me, honestly, that like, this isn't just a thing that you did once. This is an important moment for you. And like a couple of major moments in my life, that happened. I mean, I don't know what to say about it, but it happened. And within a relatively short period of time, I became laser focused on knife making. And within a few months, my wife and I, it was one of these things where it was like, I better go into business, because how can I justify the amount of time I'm spending on
Yeah.
And I think a lot of makers say this, where it's like, you can get into it so you can make more knives,
Yeah.
And that happened to me very quickly and rapidly. And from there, we started Justifier Knives. And
so is your wife involved with you now?
No, she doesn't do it. I have plans for her to be. She doesn't like work for the company yet or anything like that.
Okay.
She will pretty soon though. Once our youngest is in preschool, I think we're going to try to work something like that out. At least that's what I think.
Do you have a partner or any workers, or is it just you?
It's at the moment it's just me. I do have Jesse Hacking when he's at school. We have Nyack College right around the corner from us. And he was the little brother. I say little brother. The kid's like 9 feet tall. He was the little brother of one of my church members, and he came and worked with me and was an assistant throughout the year. But he's gone home for the summer now, so it's just me. Every once in a while, I talk my dad to coming in and helping me with stuff, and he's got so much experience just with tools and stuff. It's funny because he'll be like, my dad came in my shop and he's like, oh, all right, listen. I have no idea. I've never done anything like this. And within about 45 seconds, he was showing me how to do things better.
I hate those guys.
The worst. I was like, okay, well, we have a 3-step process for making a blank. And he did the first step so well that we skipped 2 steps and went to the 3rd step. We were able to skip some of the grinding because of what he did. It was amazing.
Efficiency. Now,
he killed it.
Now, do you have a flagship product? And if you do, can you show us, or can you show us some of the knives that you make?
It's hard to nail down. I think, not the knife that I probably the two knives I get asked about the most are the Valor Bush knife. Well, more and more these days when I get contacted, it's about the Valor Bush knife because I think about a video that just came out. The one that up until now has been the Scandal Bush knife, which is it's about a 9.5 inch, maybe a little shorter than 9.5 inch overall length, with a Scandi grind. And that one, there's a bunch of YouTube reviews of it. I've had some really great guys do reviews of it. And so for a while, if people were looking for me, it was a lot of times it was from the Scandal. The Valor this one is very rough. This is not finished, or the handle's not finished. This is the Valor Bush knife. This is for a customer for a pre-order. he for an order. You can
Nice.
see the handle's still sort of blocky. But and what I like about this one is a 1/4 inch Valor, 1/4 inch thick. Usually I do them 3/16, which is really it's just right. You know, it's good. It's a good thickness. But man, they work in 1/4 inch. You could just do things with them that you can't do usually with a knife this size. Because I know a lot of guys, they want that big knife with like a 7-inch blade or an 8-inch blade or something.
Yeah.
But they don't want to carry it.
Yeah,
right? You don't want to. And this is sort of like the best of both worlds. Like, it's got some weight to it, but it's only 9.5 inches overall.
Nice.
And I just did testing with a blade. I actually have a video of the testing. You can actually chop with this thing just because it's got enough weight in it. So it's kind of I really like it as sort of a one knife kind of option.
Right.
So that's the Valor Bush knife. I really like that one.
Okay.
But I don't know. I also have bigger stuff like. Well, I'll show you something that's not finished, and it's got a really messed up grind on it. But I'll show it to you anyway. This is the new version of the Courageous Chopper, and that's you can see it still has blue dye on it. I mean, it's really not done. It's heat treated, but it needs some fixing. And this is the 2.0 sort of prototype. I redesigned the handle, made it a lot bigger, and or a lot more comfortable. And the whole knife gained about 1 inch in the process. So I had, and this one's cool. It's got this sort of additional finger guard. So, you've got the big handle where you could really chop with it. But then if you want to get really uptight and do feather sticks or something like that, it's got the ability to do that.
Nice.
And you can get a tremendous amount of control because of where the balance is. So, it's balanced right about there where that finger choil is. When the handle's on it, I think it's balanced about right there once the handle's on it usually. And so it feels really good to do fine work with. You can't see what I'm doing. I'm going like this. It feels really good to do, like there's no edge on it, to do like feather stick kind of work or notches and stuff like that, despite the fact that it's a big, huge honking knife.
And when's that going to be coming out?
This hopefully you'll see the 2.0 with, new pictures and stuff like that, hopefully next week. I, in the middle of grinding this, broke a piece of equipment. And so it's fixed and on its way. I think I'm getting it back today. So, and I'm finishing other knives up. This one, I think I already promised that this was going to be on Shadow Warriors when it's done.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Shadow Warriors exclusive, as you like to say.
Nice.
So, yeah, this one, you can see a review of this, Survival on Purpose, with Brian Stevens, which is a great YouTube channel for bushcraft and stuff like that. He did a review and he liked it. The spoiler, he liked it, and he really liked it a lot.
Yeah.
So that's this. The handle now I think will accommodate big Sasquatch types and mortals like me as well.
Nice.
So
what else do you got? I know you have some of our favorite EDC knives.
Yeah, I've got this is the warning. This is also not finished. This is the warning in this is my own. I used to do my own custom micarta. This is the last of my custom micarta. This is orange burlap with a brown stripe on the inside. Very cool. But now that I've gotten I use Shade Tree Custom. There's really no reason to make my own micarta. Shade Tree makes excellent stuff, and micarta is messy and annoying to make, so I get all my stuff from them now.
Nice.
And in fact, I just got some orange from him. He calls it something else, and it looks like mine, only a little better, and so it's really great. So that's that. This sold. Had a this isn't finished, but it's sold. I showed some pictures of this yesterday. I think you reposted one of them.
Yeah.
And this was purchased. And he did this in public, so I don't think I'm betraying confidence. But this was purchased by V the Guerrilla Economist, who is a well-known writer and blogger and stuff for RogueMoney.net.
Nice.
So this is going to the Guerrilla.
And what model is that?
This is the Refuge Camp Knife.
Oh, okay.
And this is one of the first knives I designed, and but this is a newer version of it. The first one I designed was smaller and stuff. But and the other thing I'm doing nowadays, it's getting boring. I feel like I'm just going on.
I like it. We want to see the product. I think that's one of the things that we've that people want to see.
Yeah. So one thing that I'm doing a little differently now. When I started out, I was doing almost everything I did was a full convex grind.
Okay.
Just if it wasn't a Scandi grind, it was a full convex grind. And I've really been moving away from that and doing more of a convex saber grind.
Okay.
And just today, I was doing some testing on a Valor. I'll show that in a second. And man, I mean, you're still able to do detail work. The edge is great and all that. The geometry is fantastic, though. I mean, you go to baton through a log with it, and the thing just cries and says, "I surrender." It starts begging for its mother. The thing just explodes. Maybe that's too strong a language, but it does a great job just splitting through stuff, and it looks really awesome.
Yeah, it does. What else you got?
So. Well, I guess I got two more things. I guess I'll just show you everything.
Yeah,
since you're asking. This is very much not finished. Look at that.
Yeah.
See? This is a knife that I had made a one-off knife and sold it at a knife show, and I didn't. It was cool, but I didn't have any plans for it. And then my father-in-law came to the knife show. It was in Poughkeepsie, New York, and he lived like right around the corner. He came to the knife show, and the knife show was over. And it was cool, I got to kind of bond with my father-in-law. We don't get to see each other, certainly not alone. And he was like, "Hey, that little orange knife you sold?" He's like, "Let me buy one of those. What does that cost?" So
double the price.
What?
Double the price.
Yeah, no, he saw me sell it, so I had to give him that price. And I said, "Well, let me tweak the design just a little bit, but I'll get about the same size." And so I made it a little more comfortable and a little more just looking cool. So you can see. So right now I'm calling it the GK, George's knife.
I don't know. How long is that blade?
Oh, I don't know, man. Wait, hold on. I got my multi-tool with the ruler on. Dude, you want to know? This is embarrassing. People are always saying, "What's your cutting edge?" and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know why I don't measure these things. People ask me constantly. So the cutting edge on this will be just over 3 inches.
Oh, I love that.
Actually,
I love
almost exactly 3 inches from where the sharpening choil is.
A 3 or 4 inch blade with a full handle. I love it.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really handy. I'm already like I have a couple pieces of CPM 154 in this size, and I'm already just like one of those is mine. It's staying with me because this is really, really cool.
All right, what's the last one you got to show us?
Okay. Well, the last one is nothing new, but this is this sort of, I guess, maybe sort of an announcement. This is my first finished knife, well, minus the handle, in CPM 3V.
Ah.
So thus far, I've only done, almost all my blades come in 01 or A2 tool steel. And then I've thrown in some CPM 154. I have a couple of knives that are CPM 154. I had a really great customer ask me specifically to make one of these refuge camp knives for him in CPM 3V. And so, I did some research to see if I could handle the heat treat with the equipment I have. And I was like, a little nervous about it, but I was like, okay, I'll do it. So this was the sort of heat treat test.
Okay.
And just today, just earlier today, I shot a video of some of our, just basic stuff, just chopping with it, batoning with it, doing some feather sticks and stuff like that. And man, it just, you'd think it was not used at all. It's like the edge doesn't even need to be touched up. It's just great. So the heat treat came out great, and then I'll be cleaning this up, and I think this one's also going to go to Shadow Warriors probably.
Nice. Hey, bring it up. We love.
Somebody asks for it. I can't turn them down when they say like, "Hey, can we?"
So you have your flagship. Those are kind of that's your line. What are your prices range from in terms of those production models?
Mm-hmm.
And when I say production models, I use that very lightly.
Yeah, no, they're we wouldn't call them production models because they're all handmade, they're all custom. But they are models, you know. Like I do sell set models. I like doing that. I like the idea that you see a review of something and then you can buy another one. It's a handmade version. It's going to be a little different, but it's that. I love that idea. I just think that's cool. I do occasionally sell things that are one-offs, but for the most part, I do like to make a knife and say, okay, you can buy this too, in this steel or that steel. I have a couple more that I didn't show. I have the Stronghold, and the Righteous Chopper is very similar to this. It just doesn't have the finger choil or finger guard. So I think my lowest price at the moment, like you can get one of these in 01 for $150.
Okay.
And then if they're in CPM 154, which is the other steel I make them in, they're about $175. Again, you know, depending on when somebody's watching this, the prices do go up. So it's always a little iffy to mention price because they change over time.
Right.
But as of, what are we, May 2016?
Yeah.
So as of May 2016, my sister's birthday, my awesome sister Barbara, very, very old, very, very short, almost like Hobbit size.
The knife or your sister?
My sister.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. In case she sees this, I want to mention that she's a Hobbit and she's old. And then going all the way up to the Righteous Chopper, those are, I want to say 360.
Okay.
And if they're that's 360 in 01 tool steel. If it's like CPM 3V, which I'm now offering, then it's going to be like 430 or something like that.
Okay. Now, those are your models. Do you do custom work, and how receptive are you to complete one-off custom work requests?
Oh, okay. Like here's my napkin knife thing.
Yep.
I've toyed with it in the past. I usually turn it down. I try to be really accommodating, but I don't do a lot of that kind of stuff. It's like I don't know what it is. It's just first of all, a lot of times the designs that someone will send me are things that would just sort of stretch the tools that I have. You know, a lot of times when a guy's looking for something really interesting, he really needs to go to a guy who does some forging, who can manipulate metal and stuff. I do stock removal, so I start with a bar of steel, and I grind. I start with a certain size piece of steel, and I grind it into the knife that I want to grind it into. And so I'm not able to create all kinds of shapes and loops and stuff like that. I'll start drilling holes in it, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the limitations I have with stock removal. And then I do my own heat treating and things like that. So it's not a kit. It's not a kit knife. It's a block of steel. It's a block of micarta. It's pins. I'm making it from scratch, handmade, but it's not forged. It's ground and cut.
Have you?
So what I found, just my experience, the guys that send me stuff, a few times I just had to say, man, even if I wanted to, I don't think I could do that in my shop.
Right. Yeah. No, I completely understand. Well, at least you know your limitations.
Dude, a man's got to know his limitations. I think Dirty Harry said that.
Yes. So we, you're selling these for money. Have you had people come to you and want to barter things? Want to barter,
Yeah.
And have you accepted any of those offers? And if you have, what's an interesting one?
Actually, I think it's cool. I would take silver bullion anytime. But no one's offered that. I'm a big silver stacker, but aside from gold and silver bullion, maybe I'd take some Bitcoin. I tried to set that up because I'm also, if you're a silver stacker, you're also a conspiracy theorist. So I'm just waiting for all this to blow.
So buy a knife now, hurry!
Buy your knife, people, because as soon as it hits the fan, I'm keeping them all to protect myself. I should say, by the way, technically, I technically my books aren't open. I make knives and sell them, but occasionally, if someone's looking for something really particular, I'll take an order. If they're really, really willing to wait as long as it's going to take, which is 4 months or 6 months or something like that. But yeah, I don't want people to get the impression that I have just open custom orders right now, because I don't.
Yeah.
But hey, Send me an email. We'll see.
Yeah.
So let's send a clear message about what I do.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or any anything you want us to know about Justifier Knives, and where are you going from here? Because I know you recently went full time.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, as I said, I was the pastor of the Savior Community Church for 11 and a half years, 11 years.
Okay.
And this is my second week full time as a knife maker. And man, I think I just want people to know how much I appreciate their support. People have been just unbelievable and just gracious and appreciative. And, I made the joke somewhere, I don't remember where, but, who knew people who were obsessed with edged weapons would be so nice and supportive? Just an amazing community of people, man. Just so great.
I completely, concur with that. I think that it's been that's probably been one of the most shocking is that you have these men and some women who like sharp things and guns and being men and having beards and all that kind of stuff, but they've actually offered a lot of support for me personally. And if you ever see someone announce that they've got something going on, you see prayers going out and that kind of stuff. It's been kind of amazing to me. Yeah,
absolutely great community of people. And, the knife community on Facebook, and I'm getting into Blade forums now, but I don't know as many people through Blade forums.
Right.
The actual bladeforums.com. But Shadow Warriors yourself, been unbelievable. Yeah, I remember you contacted me like, something about a raffle, something about a charity, and I was like, oh, okay, okay, great. And then once I got connected with you guys, I was like, this is pretty cool. And you guys were just like, welcome meetings and admin and stuff. It's just a huge blessing. I appreciate it so much.
Well, we appreciate having you, man.
Yeah, and the group of guys we have selling knives on there, just great, generous with information, very cool to interact with. So it's a good thing.
Well,
but man, I don't have much to add.
No, that's okay. Give us a quick recap of Justifier Knives. What you sell, and then your social media links. We'll also put that in the description of the video.
Yeah, I would say. Oh man, I'm getting another phone call. I would say. Let me get here. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. If you're interested in getting one, my sort of primary official way of getting a knife from me. There's a few ways. My newsletter at justifierknives.com. Right on the homepage, you can sign up for my newsletter. The other thing, I sell blades through USA Made Blade, which is awesome if you're looking for a knife and a really good fixed blade, custom made, or just like a ZT or something like that. USA Made Blade, absolutely wonderful. I also have knives for sale. I'm sure this YouTube man, it gets around the world. I also have blades for sale at Survival Supplies Australia, I believe is the name of SSA, Survival Supplies Australia. Great guy, great customer of mine, and he's got a batch of my knives and is buying another one soon, and he's great. So those are the three ways to get my blades. Well, the fourth way is Shadow Warriors and following our social media. So but the newsletter is sort of, I tell the newsletter people first, even if it's a minute before. If I've got a batch of knives, they almost always get word first. And then after that, it's my Instagram, Justifier Knives. It's my Facebook, Justifier Knives, no space on either of those. And justifierknives.com.
Nice.
That's where to find it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you opening up to us and meeting with us today. And, we look forward to some more creations coming out of Justifier Knives. And good luck with the full time, man.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Good to talk to you.